What if the life you're meant to live is already speaking to you? It's not shouting, it's not demanding, it's quietly and consistently calling you forward. The question is, are you listening? I believe that we're all born with something unique inside of ourselves, something powerful, something purposeful. But most of us don't discover it. Why? Because we're taught to look everywhere else except from within. We chase titles. We chase success. We chase expectations. But purpose? Purpose doesn't live out there. Purpose lives what excites us. I know this because I've lived it. My first career was a registered nurse. I loved the intensity. I loved the responsibility. I loved the feeling of making a difference when someone needed it most. But there was a voice inside my head that was whispering, Andrea, there's more. So at 22, I went back to McGill University. Again, this time to study education and kinesiology. I became a teacher. I coached. I mentored. And for a while, it felt quite right. But then the whisper came back, Andrea, there's more. Have you ever felt that your life was right on paper, but not fully right inside? That quiet disconnect is not failure, it's feedback. Because what I didn't realize at the time, my passions weren't random. They weren't random, they were clues. Caring for others, coaching performance, helping others become their best. Those clues were pointing me somewhere. And then an unexpected opportunity arose that changed everything. I was invited to step back into the world of sport, this time on a much bigger stage. I spent the next 10 years helping to bring the 2010 Olympic and Paralympic Games to Canada. My team was tasked with raising $760 million in corporate sponsorship. But more importantly, I was entrusted with something far more meaningful, the Olympic torch relay. The goal was to inspire our nation of Canada from coast to coast to coast. And by the way, Canada size is nearly the same size as the entire continent of Europe. No small feat. 106 days long, 45,000 kilometers in length, 12,000 torchbearers. We touched 96% of Canadians. But what mattered most? It wasn't the scale. It wasn't the distance. It was the impact. People didn't stand and watch the torch go by. They watched and they felt part of something much bigger than themselves. We touched the soul of our nation. And then one day changed me forever. It was Christmas Day, bitterly cold in London, Ontario. We decided not to move the torch forward that day, but to stop and visit the local children's hospital. We carried the torch from room to room, bedside to bedside, visiting children that were oh so very ill. And then a moment came, we walked into the room of a young girl lying quietly in her bed. And she saw the flame and her eyes opened, and this big, beautiful, radiant smile crossed her face. Right there and then, the nurses turned to us and said, "We haven't seen Rebecca smile in years." That very moment, I realized something. It wasn't about the torch. It wasn't about the games. It was about what that flame represented: hope, belief, possibility. Right there and then, I realized something that I'd never fully grasped before. Purpose expands when it serves others. That was an experience. It was a bridge for me. And I went from nursing to entrepreneurship. I started a company. I led teams. I loved it. And was it success? Yes. But more importantly, it was evolution. Because every step of the way, from nursing to teaching to Olympics to business, was building something within me. That something, clarity. I then made the hardest decision of my life. I sold my business after building it for 15 years. And when I sold it, I wasn't losing something. I was stepping into what was next. Because purpose, you see, doesn't come once in our life. Purpose is something that we refine again and again and again by following what electrifies you. Today, I stand here as a speaker and a coach, and I see it all very clearly. My life wasn't random. It was preparation. It was preparation for what was next. Your passions aren't random. They are directions. Your purpose is not a destination. It's a way of being. So listen carefully, because your life is speaking, and it's asking you one simple question. Will you settle for what's expected, or will you step into what is possible?